Have you ever had someone speak to you so sweetly that you felt or stumbled upon an opportunity that seemed too perfect, no risk, only reward? And then sometime later you thought to yourself, if yes, you're not alone, because there's a category of people in this world who look like ordinary humans. But their sole purpose is one thing, to win your trust and then break it, taking everything with them. Let me tell you about a fascinating and incredibly important book by Maria Konnikova. This book dives deep into the minds of people who emotionally or financially manipulate others, the people we call. But it's not just about their tricks, it's also about why do we fall for these traps, no matter how smart we think we are. In this video, we'll explore the psychological tricks that con artists use to deceive us, the reasons why we fall for their schemes, and the invaluable lessons we can learn from. So, buckle up, because we're about to take a deep dive into the world of deception and manipulation, and trust me, by the end of this journey, you'll be much better equipped to spot the sweet talkers and perfect opportunities that are just too good to be true. Whether it's love, success, spirituality, or financial hope, we all need something to believe in. And this is what the con artist understands perfectly. They show you what your heart desires. That's why the con artist's greatest weapon is your own longing. They don't just sell you a product or a service, they sell you a dream, a vision of a better future that aligns perfectly with your deepest desires and aspirations. The con artist taps into that universal human need for hope and belief. They craft their schemes so meticulously that you can't help but think. And once they've got you hooked on that dream, it becomes incredibly difficult to see through the illusion. Because let's face it, who wants to wake up from a dream that feels so real, so attainable? That's the genius of the con artist. They make you believe that your dreams are just within reach. Con artists are master storytellers. They build a relationship with you. They tell you a story that feels real. And remember, that story isn't 100% fake. It's sprinkled with just enough truth to make it feel authentic. They weave a narrative where you are the hero, the one who's finally going to achieve that long-sought-after goal. And who doesn't want to be the hero of their own story? These stories are not just compelling, they are tailored to you. They are designed to resonate with your personal experiences, your hopes, and your fears. The con artist becomes a character in your story, a mentor, a partner, or even a savior. They make you feel special, understood, and most importantly, they make you believe that you are on the brink of something extraordinary. It's this emotional investment that blinds you to the red flags and keeps you hooked. A con game is not a random act, it's a meticulously planned operation. It follows a specific structure, almost like a script. The first step is the put-up. They identify who's vulnerable. This is followed by the play. They build a connection with you. Next comes the rope. They offer something tempting. Then the tale. They create a compelling story. To seal the deal, they use the convincer. They give you small wins to build trust. If you start doubting, they initiate the breakdown. They calm you down. Once you fully trust them, it's time for the send. You fully trust them now. Finally, they execute the touch. They take everything, and just like that, it's the blow-off. They vanish, leaving you with guilt and confusion. Each of these steps is designed to manipulate your emotions and build a false sense of trust and security. By the time you realize what's happening, it's usually too late. The con artist has already moved on to their next target, leaving you to pick up the pieces. Understanding this structure is crucial because it allows you to recognize the signs early on and take action before it's too late. Chapter 4. One of the biggest misconceptions about con artists is that they only target the naive or uneducated. The truth is, even highly educated and experienced people get trapped. Why? Because the moment we start believing I can never be fooled, we become most vulnerable. Overconfidence and emotional attachment blur logic. And when we become emotionally invested in a dream, we begin to ignore every red flag. Con artists exploit this overconfidence. They know that everyone, no matter how smart or experienced, has a blind spot. They use sophisticated techniques to bypass your logical defenses and tap directly into your emotions. And once they've got you emotionally hooked, it becomes incredibly difficult to see through the deception. So remember, no one is immune to being conned. The key is to stay vigilant and never let your guard down. Chapter 5. One of the most insidious aspects of a con is the aftermath. Victims often blame themselves for being deceived. They think, how could I have been so stupid? That self-blame becomes an advantage for the con artist. By the time the victim realizes what really happened, it's usually too late. The con artist is long gone, and the victim is left with a shattered sense of self-worth. This self-blame is not only damaging, but also counterproductive. It prevents victims from coming forward and sharing their experiences, which in turn allows con artists to continue their schemes unchecked. It's important to remember that being conned is not a reflection of your intelligence or character. It's a testament to the con artist's skill and your innate human capacity for hope and trust. So if you've been scammed, don't blame yourself. Learn and share. Chapter 6. In today's world, con artists have adapted to new technologies and societal changes. They appear as fake gurus, crypto schemes, online mentorship traps, or even love frauds. All of these are just modern-day versions of the same old game. The platforms may have changed, but the fundamental tactics remain the same. They still rely on building trust, creating compelling narratives, and exploiting your emotional vulnerabilities. The digital age has given con artists new tools to reach a wider audience and execute their schemes more efficiently. Social media, email, and online marketplaces have become breeding grounds for scams. But despite these new methods, the underlying psychology of the con remains unchanged. By understanding the timeless principles of con artistry, you can better navigate the modern landscape and protect yourself from falling victim to these schemes. Chapter 7. Lessons from the book offers invaluable lessons that can help us protect ourselves from being conned. First and foremost, every person is vulnerable. Anyone can be fooled. Emotional stories aren't always true, no matter how compelling they may seem. Trust is important, but it should never be. If something feels, it probably is. These are simple yet powerful principles that can serve as your first line of defense against con artists. Another crucial lesson is that if you've been scammed, don't blame yourself. Instead, learn from the experience and share your story. By doing so, you not only help yourself heal, but also prevent others from falling into the same traps. Knowledge is power, and the more we understand about the tactics of con artists, the better equipped we are to protect ourselves and our loved ones. Chapter 8. Everyone is vulnerable. It's essential to understand that everyone is vulnerable to being conned. No matter how smart, educated, or experienced you are, you have emotional triggers that a skilled con artist can exploit. Recognizing this vulnerability is the first step in protecting yourself. It's not about being paranoid, it's about being aware and cautious. The moment you think you're invincible is the moment you become most susceptible to deception. Con artists thrive on overconfidence and complacency. They look for people who believe they can't be fooled and then use that belief against them. By staying humble and acknowledging your own vulnerabilities, you can better guard against the tactics of con artists. Remember, it's not a sign of weakness to be cautious, it's a sign of wisdom. Chapter 9. Pause before believing a perfect story. Not every story is a fairy tale. Sometimes behind that perfect narrative is a con artist, just waiting for you to believe. It's crucial to pause and critically evaluate any story that seems too perfect. Ask yourself, look for inconsistencies and red flags. Don't let your emotions cloud your judgment. A healthy dose of skepticism can go a long way in protecting you from being deceived. Con artists rely on your willingness to suspend disbelief. They create stories that are so compelling that you want to believe them, even if they defy logic. By taking a step back and questioning the narrative, you can disrupt their game and protect yourself from falling victim to their schemes. So the next time you encounter a story that seems too good to be true, remember to pause, think, and evaluate before you believe. Outro, wrapping up the confidence game. So there you have it. The world of con artists is a dark and twisted place, but it's also a mirror reflecting our deepest desires and vulnerabilities. By Maria Konnikova offers us a window into this world, showing us not just how con artists operate, but why we fall for their tricks. It's a sobering reminder that no one is immune to deception, but it's also an empowering guide to protecting ourselves. Remember, the key to avoiding cons is not to become cynical or distrustful, but to remain vigilant and informed. Trust is a beautiful thing, but it should never be blind. By understanding the tactics of con artists and recognizing our own vulnerabilities, we can navigate the world with a healthy balance of hope and caution. And if you've ever been conned, don't let it define you. Learn from it, share your story, and help others avoid the same fate. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the world of deception and manipulation. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe. And remember, the best way to protect yourself from being conned is to stay informed and stay vigilant. Until next time, take care and keep your eyes open.